Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. This is rather shocking. What, the Pentagon's got to get their information from the New York Times? U.S. warns Russia over Syria involvement. Amid reports of a Russian military buildup in Syria, Washington has warned the Kremlin against escalating the conflict. Fears are rising that Moscow could be preparing a combative backing of the Assad regime. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry warned his Russian counterpart over unconfirmed reports of Moscow plans to directly intervene in the Syrian conflict in a phone call on Saturday. Kerry told Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov that if a report in the New York Times on Saturday was accurate, Russia's actions could further intensify the four-year-old conflict, according to a statement by the U.S. State Department. What does that tell you about our intelligence gathering? That they didn't have the information until it came out in the New York Times? Or were they simply ignoring it until it came out in the Times? You tell me. Russia's involvement could lead to greater loss of innocent life, increased refugee flows, and risk confrontation with the anti-Islamic IS coalition operating in Syria, it added. According to the New York Times, Russia has sent a military advance team to Syria and is taking other steps the United States fears may signal that President Vladimir Putin is planning to vastly expand his military support for President Bashar al-Assad of Syria, administration officials said Friday. The Russian moves, including the recent transport of prefabricated housing units for hundreds of people to a Syrian airfield and the delivery of a portable air traffic control station there, are another complicating factor in Secretary of State John Kerry's repeated efforts to enlist Mr. Putin's support for a diplomatic solution to the bloody conflict in Syria. The Russians have also filed military overflight requests with neighboring countries through September. American officials acknowledge that they are not certain of Russia's intentions, but some say the temporary housing suggests that Russia could deploy as many as 1,000 advisors or other military personnel to the airfield near the Assad family's ancestral home. The airfield serves Latakia, Syria's principal port city. American intelligence analysts are also looking at ship loadings in Russia to determine what might be bound for Syria. And one official speculated that the Russian deployment might eventually grow to 2,000 to 3,000 personnel. There are some worrisome movements, logistical, preparatory types of things, said an administrative official who added that there was no confirmation that large numbers of Russian soldiers, aircraft, or heavy weapons had yet arrived. Officials asked for anonymity because they were discussing classified intelligence reports. Stepping up Russian military support for the Syrian government could pose a problem for the United States in several ways. If Mr. Putin's intention is to support not just the Syrian government, but also Mr. Assad, that could undercut Mr. Kerry's contention that the Syrian president needs to leave power as part of any political solution to the conflict. I think Kerry's completely wrong there. I may not agree with Assad's politics, but he does keep or at least he used to keep everyone in line. And if Russian pilots carry out airstrikes, administration officials say the choice of targets might further aggravate the growing chaos. Russian strikes on Islamic State militants could interfere with or at least complicate the air operations that the United States-led coalition is already conducting in Syria against the group. But if Russia targets rebel groups that are opposed to Mr. Assad, they might be striking some of the moderate Syrian fighters who have been trained by the CIA and the Pentagon. Another possibility is that Russia is taking these steps to secure its own interests. In the event that the Assad government collapses, reaches a power-sharing agreement with the opposition, or is replaced. By expanding its military influence in Syria, Russia might be in a stronger position to shape the political outcome as the Assad government's military position weakens by encouraging it to share power with the opposition members Moscow supports. As I stated before, it started out as a student protest. Was a student protest backed by CIA? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. U.S. politics going in and overthrowing these different governments or helping the people overthrow the governments is making a real mess of the whole Middle East. Put your thoughts and comments down below. Bookmark my site. I'll keep you up to date. Please stay safe, and I will talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.